Commissioners, would all those who are willing and able please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision, neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority. And may we use our directives for the common good, and for thy honor and glory. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler.
Here.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Present.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Here. Very good. This brings us to our first public comment portion. Our Workforce Development Director, Corey Vojak. I believe you have a presentation for us, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
We wanted to celebrate in recognizing National Apprenticeship Week here in Ohio during the week of November 14th through the 20th. This will mark the 8th annual National Apprenticeship Week. This is a nationwide celebration where industry, labor, equity, workforce, education, and government leaders host events that showcase the success and value of registered apprenticeship for rebuilding our economy and advancing racial and gender equity and serving underserved communities. This week is an opportunity to highlight how registered apprenticeship providers provide a critical talent pipeline, and where an apprenticeship is an industry-driven, high-quality career pathway where employers can invest and develop their employees. Through an apprenticeship, employees can earn as they learn through a paid on-the-job training, classroom instruction, and earn an affordable, nationally recognized credential. Community colleges, technical training schools, and even employers can provide these job-related educational courses. And in coordination, we'd like to highlight the Alliance for Working Together, AWT, as a key partner in developing apprenticeship programs with Lake County and helping us in the local workforce system provide workforce funding to help facilitate these programs. And so without further ado, we'll do a little snippet from AWT's apprenticeship video.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Education. It doesn't always mean sitting in one of these, listening to one of these, or cracking open one of these. Maybe you'd like to learn a little about this, do a little of this, or make a little bit of this. With an Alliance for Working Together AWT apprenticeship, you can learn a skill like this, and that. So instead of spending all of your time here, you spend a little time here and a lot of time here.
The Alliance for Working Together Foundation, or AWT as we call it, was started in 2002 by area manufacturing companies. Everybody was having a hard time finding machinists and skilled labor, and so we put a concerted effort into solidifying that message, that mission, promote rewarding careers in manufacturing. The AWT apprenticeship program is special because it's run by manufacturing companies. We understand all the technical paperwork type stuff that manufacturing companies have to go through, and AWT makes it easy.
Anything, Corey?
Mr. President,
Sir.
I would say two things. First, we have great thanks to our Director of Workforce Development, Corey Vojak, under the leadership of Job and Family Services. He has done so much to promote a stronger workforce in Lake County, and your recognition that our partnership with manufacturers and our strong manufacturing base is so key. Roger Sustar is a great man. His daughter, Allison, they've been the driving force behind AWT, and their new transformation center is the second of its kind in Ohio, where we're going to be training our workforce right here in Lake County to work in Lake County. The number one asset that no one can find from sea to shining sea are qualified people. And we are in a position to provide that single most important element to every business that wants to come to Lake County. So thank you for being a part of that and for recognizing that our partnership with the private sector and manufacturing is part of what makes Lake County just such an incredible place.
Thank you.
Very good. And Corey, it's not official until you get the certificate
Oh,
of recognition.
Of course.
Oh, this is a big one.
Yeah, they're getting bigger.
I think you're in the middle, Corey. Congratulations.
Very good. All right, we're still in our first public comment portion. Is there anyone wishing to address the board? Sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Massey, 8196 Rainbow Drive, lobbyist for citizens. I too also would like to thank Roger Sustar and Freedon for everything that he's doing in the community with AWT. We wholeheartedly support it. But the thought just hit my mind as I was listening to all of this. Isn't that the role of Lakeland Community College to provide qualified people for what the manufacturers or the businesses need? It just seems to me that it would have been great if the powers to be at Lakeland Community College would have been more responsive to the needs of the business community and the manufacturing community. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? Anyone else? Very good. Madam Clerk, first agenda item, please.
In the engineer's office, resolution approving plans and specifications for the villas of Canterwood Farms Phase 2 in Concord Township.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Thank you.
Resolution to advertise for bids for the LAK Sanctuary Drive Bridge Project PID number 113455, LCE project number 2015-017-02, bid opening December 14th, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Jim?
Yes, I see the former mayor of Kirtland is shaking his head up and down like, man, it's just about time this thing got fixed. This is a bridge that was provided by a developer years ago, and it was delaminating before its time, and we've ended up having to set it up with one lane because it got so bad. We were able to secure some money with the help of Senator Serino, since he lives down there. The money was able to be moved forward, and this is a bridge that we designed totally in-house. So it will be out on the street finally, and I'm hoping that the people in Kirtland are going to build a big bonfire and celebrate. Thank you.
Kirtland and Kirtland Hill will be a joint effort, Jim. Thanks for getting to this. This is really important.
ThanI'm sir. There's
You're
nothing
welcome.
further. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Oh, by the way, along with everything else, I did check my skis this morning. You know, I'm getting ready for winter.
Oh, my. All right, Madam Clerk, save us.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Thank you.
In the Utilities Department, resolution determining to proceed with the construction and installation of sanitary sewer lines together with related improvements and all necessary appurtenances thereto, comprising the Kirtland Old Town Sanitary Sewer Project 445S and authorizing related matters.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Randy, anything you want to add, sir?
Thank you, Commissioner. Only that this is the next step in our procedure to move forward with this project. The next will be advertising for bids, and we'll probably be opening those early in January, and construction next summer.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, if there's nothing further, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing final release of a 3-year maintenance surety for Rural Road Waterline Extension in the City of Eastlake, job number 16-53.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving plan specifications and estimates of cost in the amount of $189,480 for water lines for Canterwood Farms Phase 2 subdivision in Concord Township, job number 21-81.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving plan specifications and estimates of cost in the amount of $337,132.40 for sanitary sewers for Canterwood Farms Phase 2 subdivision in Concord Township, job number 21-75.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations in Lake County Department of Utilities Water and Sewer Operating Funds.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
And Job and Family Services Department, resolution approving Lake County Department of Job and Family Services vouchers, date of warrant November 23rd, 2022, in the amount of $689,632.30.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Commissioner's Office, resolution authorizing the Lake County Land Reutilization Corporation to demolish the building located at 168 North St. Clair Street in Painesville, Ohio.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution reappointing Cynthia Brooks as a member of the Lake Metropolitan Housing Authority Board of Commissioners for a 5-year term expiring November 12, 2027.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Come on up.
I would just like to say, thank you, sir. Commissioners, on behalf of Lake Metropolitan Housing Authority, just want to recognize Cynthia for her invaluable experience. It would be an honor if she was able to serve an additional 5 years on our board. And so I rest at your mercy. Thank you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you, sir. All right, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes, there you go. That was easy.
Resolution authorizing execution of an agreement between the Lake County Board of Commissioners and Burgess and Nyepel Incorporated for design professional services for courtroom HVAC upgrades funded by the U.S. Department of Treasury under the Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds, known as the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President,
Sir.
this is a very cool vote.
Wow. Love you too, kid. Again, Madam Clerk, save us. It's going to be one of those days.
Commissioner Tyler,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution to join with the Lake County Prosecuting Attorney to apply to the Lake County Court of Common Pleas pursuant to Revised Code 3005.14a to employ and compensate legal counsel to advise and represent Lake County in the matter known as In Re Washington Prime Group Incorporated, an official committee of unsecured creditors, debtor Mall at Great Lakes Mall at Great Lakes LLC versus Lake County Auditor et al., United States Bankruptcy Court, Southern District, Texas, case number 21-001 31948, adversary number 22-03311.
Move to approve.
Second.
And under discussion, legal, is it safe to say that we do not have anybody in the prosecutor's office admitted to practice law in Texas? That's what's making this necessary?
That is the precise reason, Commissioner.
And if we do not have representation in that court, the outcome may not be so favorable.
And this is attacking the valuation process of the mall property. So we would recommend we do have representation and preserve our taxes.
And do we know how this court became the court of jurisdiction?
It goes to bankruptcy. Sorry, it goes to bankruptcy rules regarding jurisdiction and venue of the debtor as filed or the creditors. There are rules in place that they happen to own property in Ohio is irrelevant. It's where are the debtor located, principal place of business or incorporated.
How convenient for the debtor.
Okay, if there's nothing further, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $2,925,660.01.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, none being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $998,389.86.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, none being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations for various non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, none being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring cash and appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, none being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Very good. All right, moving on to departmental reports. Utilities.
No report today, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Job and Family Services.
No report today, Commissioner.
Thank you, ma'am. County Administrator.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just very briefly, I think you were presented with the 2023 temporary budget by Finance Director Matus. Mr. Matus is working remote today, but just wanted you to know that Mike and his team have been working extremely hard over the past 2 or 3 weeks on that document. I think there's a copy floating around, so should you have any questions or concerns, feel free to not call me, call Mike. And secondly, thank you for the vote on the ARPA resolution for the design contract for the HVAC improvements at the courthouse. We were fortunate to work with Amanda Gordon and Legal Review that those are an eligible ARPA expense. We have improvements in all of our courthouses, the main courthouse, the annex with probate court and juvenile court. So these ARPA funds will be put to really good use in some of our most prominent civic buildings in the county. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, moving on. Madam Clerk.
Yes, I wanted to mention that our next Commissioners meeting is going to be on Tuesday, November 29th at 10 a.m. There will not be a Commissioners meeting next week, so I just want to say Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And that's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Legal.
No report, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Okay, this brings us to our old business portion of the meeting. Any old business? Hearing none? Moving on to new business. Do we have any new business?
Mr. President,
Sir.
I would second our clerk's expression of a happy Thanksgiving, and I would also extend sincere congratulations to our soon-to-be newest commissioner, Rich Regovich. I'm very, very much looking forward to working with you over the next 4 years. We're honored to have you with us and to continue the great work that you've done in Willowick for the entire county. So congratulations, and look forward to a lot of great work with you for the people of Lake County.
And he got his wonderful housewarming gift, that lovely little desk sitting around the corner. It's kid size. Anyway. Any other new business? Hearing none, moving on to our second public comment portion. Anyone in the audience wishing to address the board? Anyone at all? Thank you, Mr. Massey. Come on up, sir. Once again, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Again, Brian Massey, lobbyist for Citizens, 8196 Rainbow Drive. I just have a quick question on the resolution regarding the legal counsel for Great Lakes Mall. Does that mean the Great Lakes Mall is going out of business? Are they just cleaning off debt off their books when they're going through bankruptcy?
Again, as I understand, this is just a challenge associated with the property valuation methodology used by Lake County, the formula. I'll look to legal, though, for a more detailed explanation, sir.
Yes, and this isn't even the ownership of the mall, it's the management company. So it's not the property owners, it's the management company in place, which has dozens of contracts with various malls throughout the nation.
Any idea of the dollars involved as far as the real estate taxes that we're talking about?
The real estate taxes are currently up to date, but my understanding after reading the documents is the challenge is more to the valuation process and how we value property in Lake County, Ohio. There was a BOR challenge on one of the parcels involved. There was not on the other parcel involved, but that process has been fully litigated in Ohio. There is a question of whether they can even do this type of challenge in out of state, which is why we need to retain counsel, answer, and litigate to protect our taxes. I don't know the exact amount of.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we're talking about $10 or $10 million, and that would, precipitate, spending legal fees on it.
It is millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
I don't know exactly how much. I know the auditor's office would be able to.
Thank you, Mr. DeLeon. Appreciate it very much. The next item I have deals with Lake Tran. I have been getting a lot of inquiries from citizens about Lake Tran, and I'm sure, I think the commissioners appoint 3, I believe it is, you appoint 3 board members to Lake Tran?
All 9.
Jennifer doesn't.
You appoint all of them?
Mm-hmm. But it's 3 per year.
3 per year. Thank you very much for that clarification. So this definitely would, impact you. One of the residents of Lake County had me, post something on Lobbyists for Citizens, and I did. And he was, first of all, I should start by saying, Mr. Ben Capel has been very responsive and very transparent with any and all records requests or answering questions. So I need to get that, right up front. There's no deceptions or anything like that. I just want to make sure the commissioners know about that. But the individual was saying that he was reminding Mr. Capel of the mission statement, which reads, and if I may read it, Lake Tran is committed to providing quality public transportation services to all Lake County residents with a special emphasis on meeting the transportation needs of senior citizens and people with disabilities. I received some calls from people with disabilities complaining about a change in policy of Lake Tran. So I didn't know what that was about, so I did send an email to Mr. Capel, and I asked him if there had been any changes in policies that would impact the mission statement as far as they're, providing the services. So I said, quote, has there been a change in any policy that would lessen the services provided to seniors? And his response was, the short answer is yes, we did make a change. It was not targeted at any one group of people, and until recently we need a system which used, they had a system that used what they call essential trips. An essential trip was a category of trip that we never denied regardless of capacity. In theory, that meant that every resident of Lake County could have called for a trip on the same time and same day, and we would have booked the trip. Essential trips were defined as the following: work, medical, Americans with disability, which we are legally required, senior centers, and adult daycare. This policy was putting immense strain on our employees, so we did have employees upset with us to the point I was concerned some would leave, further exasperating the issue. We always intended to change this policy, but we wanted to do it in a way that would have been less impact on our riders. Unfortunately, with the shortage in drivers, the problem began to compound itself, and service quality fell below our standards. October was particularly a bad month. It also happens to be our busiest month of the year, along with March. As a result, I, Ben Capel, had to make the unpleasant decision to move to a first-come, first-served system for all trips. And so I'm seeing a change, in Lake Tran. It's a very significant change. And then so I started to follow up with some additional questions for Mr. Capel, and maybe about 6 months ago or so, an individual that was visually impaired did ask me to look into the issue of he could not really make a reservation using the phone, and he was wondering if they were going to do anything with a voice-actuated system for reservations. Mr. Capel said at that time that yes, they are, and they're going to be, Johnny on the spot and get it done. Well, I contacted Mr. Capel on that very issue, and he said it still hasn't been done. They're working on it. They've got a new IT person, maybe, in December. So then that led me, when I heard about the new IT person, I watched the video of the, I think it was October 24th meeting, where there were they wanted to spend $78,540 on IT services using outside services, basically to help the IT director, and I guess he's just a director of one, so that they don't have a vast number of people in their IT department. But one thing that the IT director mentioned, and he was trying to justify the expenditure of the $78,000, was very confusing to me when he said that, well, we've got some propane tanks in the back that, if we don't really watch those, they could blow up, and and there could be a lot of damage to buildings. And I thought to myself, if that's a problem, I'd like the commissioners to look into that, to say, do they have a serious problem with propane tanks that are not secured, that it would cause the IT director to even mention it in a public meeting? So that was disconcerting to me. I didn't know what that had to do with IT, but he mentioned it, so I mentioned it to the commissioners, and I asked that you make sure that is taken care of, and it is of paramount importance that we do have safety for the employees, and certainly for the buildings, and for the general population. So I just want to make sure that the commissioners are aware that there's something happening with Lake Tran, and if you were to see the October 24th meeting where they're debating, it was passed 4-3 that they're going to spend the $78,000. But whenever I see a 4-3 vote, on the board, that tells me that there's not unanimous thought process on the direction that the Lake Tran may be taking. The second or third subject has to do with the model math curriculum. I believe it was a couple meetings ago, I made copies for the commissioners of the research that we had been doing for the math education in Lake County's middle and high school. And I think the reports would show that the results are abysmal. I mean, if I were superintendents or involved in education and that was the product, I'd be embarrassed, be quite frankly. And when I see the results of Painesville Harvey and in their middle school and high school, and when the proficiency scores get into the 12 to 15% range, I'm just saying, call that a day, give everybody a participation trophy, and let's save the money, because all you're doing is it's a babysitting service. That's not education. I was told that there's nothing that the schools can do about the curriculum. And I thought that was a strange comment, and I asked for, and this was a individual that had some knowledge about the schools, and they are saying that the state is mandated the model curriculum, the curriculum being how the information is presented to the students so that they can learn. And I'm just talking about math. Reading is another subject, but I'm just speaking about math. And I said to myself, I'm not sure that that's correct. So what I did is I sent an email to the Ohio Department of Education, and I received a response, to that question. And the question again being, is the model curriculum developed by the state, are the local districts required to use it? And I received a reply from Jennifer Stump, the director of the Office of Policy and Legislative Affairs. And I can give you, copies of this if you wish. And she says, your Ohio law requires the State Board of Education to adopt academic content standards and a model curriculum for several subjects, including math. When they talk about academic content standards, what does a child know at certain grade levels? What should they be taught? And then the model curriculum is how is that taught so that they can achieve those standards developed by the state. The model curriculum is aligned to the standards. However, no district or school is required to use either the standards or the model curriculum. They are available as a resource for all schools, but use of them is optional. Okay, so we now have authority from the state saying that it is now optional. So I then asked the question, I said, well, if school superintendents and the director of curriculums, I won't name any names, but just all of them from Lake County Schools, this terrible proficiency scores didn't just happen after COVID. COVID compounded the problem by about 8 to 10 percentage points. But when you're starting at at a 70 to 75%, and you're losing 10 points, as far as I'm concerned, you're failing. Now I have to say I'll give accolades to Kirtland School. They are the premier school, it seems to me, based on the proficiency scores. So I'm not calling out Kirtland. They seem to have their act together. But if school superintendents and director of curriculums, if they've known for years of the terrible math proficiency scores, and they have the ability to change the curriculum, why haven't they done it? If the board members, if they don't know, the school board members, if they don't know what the proficiency scores are, I say shame on them. How do they judge the performance of the school? If they do know, shame on them for not speaking up and saying, we can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results. What about the teachers? I understand that they've got their jobs to secure. I understand that. But I sure would like, some teachers to say, this isn't working. How about the teachers' unions? How about all the Ohio School Board Association? How about all the trade associations? They must see all the same numbers, but no one says anything. Again, I'm pleading with senior citizens. You're being priced out of their homes with these ever-increasing property taxes on schools. And this math education proficiency scores in the 40, 50, 60 percentile proficiency is not acceptable. They're funding their own demise. Kids graduating from our high schools in Lake County, and they go to Lakeland Community College, they have to have remedial courses. So are the taxpayers paying for that again? Now I see public schools, they've now adopted this whole child agenda, which was started by the CDC, Central for Disease Control. And this, as I say, even works in incremental steps. They have now introduced the social emotional learning. They are now introducing transgender. Mentor Schools has a policy that I've tagged as "Don't Tell Mom." It's going to be our little secret pronoun policy. So when these schools start to impact the families and get between the parents and the child, we're calling them all out. And if the taxpayers don't wake up, you're going to have a tremendous problem, and it is a betrayal, an absolute betrayal to the children of this community. Thank you for listening to me.
Sir, thank you so much for your comments. Okay, anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? And by the way, Brian, if you want to give Jennifer a copy of that correspondence you were telling us about. Thank you, sir. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Happy Thanksgiving and yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Thank you. This meeting stands adjourned. Thank you for joining us today.